When you go through a project like this, it gets you to thinking about the time you spent dedicating your life to this weird little hobby, to the people you've met and the experiences you've had. Then one thought struck me. It's truly bizarre that I'm able to opine on the relative merits of 100 games. I mean, I haven't yet, but it's getting pretty close. To think that I can have a list of 100 brilliant games, and then someone else can populate their list with 100 equally brilliant but different games. This really highlights the breadth and depth of this thing that only really got going in the mid-90s. I attended the Spiel des Jahres awards ceremony this weekend and was struck by something one of the judges said. It's something I've thought since I got into games, that these things we sit down to play on a regular basis are cultural objects, that they have cultural currency, and they should be discussed in the spaces where cultural objects are discussed. If you define art as something that tells us something about ourselves, well, it's clear to me. Games are art. Some of them major works of art. They teach lessons in restraint or impetuousness. They tell us about human systems and human relationships. They discuss moments of import in human history and potential developments of the future. The greatest contribution games give to us, though, is that they put us in rooms together. This is the most human thing our gregarious species can ever do. It's not massively over-egging the pudding to suggest that games, well, they make us more human. And in an age where we are expected to live in silicon prisons and passively consume, this is incredibly life-affirming. An hour spent with someone who I fundamentally disagree with over a game makes us both more human. And even if we don't enter a discussion over those things that animate us, well, we've spent an hour learning that we are both human beings and probably more similar than we could have hoped. And this facile culture war ephemera is transient. And the nature of a humanity is permanent. I want to beat you at a game and love you as a person. This is what games give us. This is what games contribute to our culture. It is not cringe to play games. It is the most human thing you can do, and you should revel in it. Well, here endeth the lesson. And let's get on to the bloody game, shall we? This game is one massive glass cannon and I love it. It prizes reckless abandon above everything else and facilitates it through the amazing engineering of the map and the expertly tooled abilities that leverage the brilliant map design. There are games that are quiet, thoughtful and deliberative experiences, games that marvel in silliness and games that are unabashed action, and Kemet is one of these. Right from the off, you're at one another's throats, destroying and being destroyed. This is why you can't form any kind of attachment to your troops, as they'll be wiped off the board almost as soon as they're placed there. The abilities on the monsters aren't quite as impressive as the minis, but they add a wonderful tactical and aesthetic element to the board. The powers that you can buy and upgrade are brilliant and allow all players to go down a path that is unique to them. And the way they interact with each other is masterful. This is a design hell-bent on making you attack, and every game of Kemet is filled with glorious battle. If you love carnage, then you'll love Kemet. This is my favourite Spiel des Jahres winner of the last decade. Camel Up is just unalloyed joy. There are cutesy pictures on the box and whimsy drips off it like cheap cologne, and usually that would make me awfully annoyed, but Camel Up is just so well put together that it could be drenched in big-eyed cat pictures and I'd still love it. Firstly, it's super simple. You can explain the game in 5 minutes. Secondly, turns are super quick and snappy, and even with a full player count, the play zips around the table and you never feel you're trapped in a morass of downtime. The greatest thing about Camel Up, though, is the pure chaos it generates. This chaos keeps you engrossed in every moment of the game, as you have no idea what will happen next. The brilliant camel mounting mechanism means that any confidence is fleeting, and that poor runt at the back of the pack can leap into an unexpected victory. Camel Up teaches us that confidence is transient, and chance will make fools of us all eventually. Also, it's brilliant. I'm not a fan of Twilight Imperium. It's an endless drudge through shitty mechanisms, but Eclipse though. Eclipse is a real game. It's beautifully designed, it offers decisions of real import and feels epic in a way that a real 4X game should. Often long and laborious is conflated with epic. Just because your bloody game takes 17 hours to play doesn't mean it's epic. Epic games have arcs. They go from decisions of little importance to anyone but the player involved to, by the end, a decision that can shake the whole table. They offer paths to advancement, and the fight of the game is as much with your own abilities than with those of your opponents. Eclipse offers all these things in spades, and would be higher on my list if I had a copy and can play it more. I rarely talk about things like componentry in these videos, and that's because inserts are bullshit and a baggie would work loads better. That's not true for Eclipse. The inserts here contribute to the smooth playing of the game and actually make a difference to the experience. That's why I would always go for the second edition over the first. Eclipse is brilliant because it tells a story that is every bit as grand as it should be and is supported by brilliant mechanisms. This is the king of sci-fi 4X games. God, did they ever come out of the gate fast. The Splotter Guy's first design still remains one of their best, and a game that plays in a time that means you can actually get it to the table fairly regularly. This is the Splotter game I've played the most, simply because its playtime is so amenable to getting it played. Bus carries all of those Splotter hallmarks. It's mean, it's unforgiving, and it feels like nothing you've ever played before. Board games are amazing in that they can transform banal tasks into incredible fun. I've never had aspirations to town planning until I tried Bus. Now I know that the local transport office is mean, petty and competitive in a way that would give a UFC fighter pause. All of this, as well as a game that is flawlessly strategic and forces you to use all of the lighty-uppy parts of your brain. And when that dickhead nicks one of your passengers, you can make sure next round to halt time just to ruin their day. Brilliant. This is the newest game in this list, and there was no doubt that it was going to rank super high. The first time we got this to the table, we played with the wrong rules, and I had a bloody terrible time. The thought crossed my mind that the Splotter boys had made a lemon. Oh, ye of the littlest of faiths! A couple of days later, we played with the correct rules, and the top of my head spun around and flew off. From that first correct play, I knew I was playing a modern classic, a game that was challenging and daunting and difficult and audacious, a game that cemented the Splotter lads as the most original and innovative designers working today. Like most of their games, Horseless Carriage is relatively simple to pick up, but impossible to be good at after one play. The central thrust of the game, making sure your factory is laid out in the most efficient manner, is a superbly knotty challenge that you'll never get right. Perfection is for liars, and Horseless Carriage teaches this. The way you can ride on the coattails of others' innovations is brilliant too, and the bidding for turn order is really important. Couple that with a fantastic sales mechanism that allows for meticulous planning and all the gazumping you want, and you have a game that leaves you breathless. Well done, lads. You've done it again. Gambling derailed my home. Gambling is a pernicious addiction that ruins lives. My father pissed so much of his life and money away watching horses run around a track that to see it was to be put off it for life. I have my vices, but gambling isn't one of them, thank fuck. Still, I'm not one of those narcissists that thinks my personal trauma is a reason for everyone else to moderate their talk or their activities. Gambling is awful, but as a ludological experience, it can be bloody brilliant, and Ready, Set, Bet is bloody brilliant. God, this game is wonderful. It generates that kind of wonderful tension that makes the sport so compelling. It makes people spunk their chips on the board in an act of instinctive idiocy. It teaches us that there is no logic to gambling at all. It's all id, all what makes us feel good at that particular moment, and who cares if I lose it all? The beauty of Ready, Set, Bet is it gives us that, and there's nothing at stake. I've never played this with the app. The guy who chairs the races at my local game group is brilliant, and all credit goes out to him. He's called Ben too, which means he must be a genius. Martin Wallace is a brilliant designer, and this is his masterpiece. It is a heavy, difficult game wrapped in a lithe and simple rule set. Age of Steam is the poster child for being easy to learn and difficult to master. Every part of this game is challenging. How many shares to buy, what to bid for in turn order, how to maximise your routes. I am fucking awful at this game, and I play with people who are great at this kind of logistical enterprise, so every time I play, my ego gets a massive bruising, but you can't get away from this design. It's so clean, so beautiful. This is a game that will never be my personal favourite because it's too hard for me to truly love it, but it is a foundation of modern game design, a work of true genius, and maybe the best designed game on this list. Bloody Reiner can eat Sire. He can reach into our brains with his designs. He can put a proposition in front of us that is a truly terrible idea, and we all know it's a truly terrible idea, and then we do it anyway because we don't have control of our impulses. Reiner does. High Society is a true classic. The central idea that the person who spends the most money cannot win the game is brutally brilliant, and it colours every decision you make in the game. Then, the mathematically precise values on the cards encourage the kind of recklessness that could see you coming out at the end with 0 points. The core idea would be useless, though, if there was no risk of you doing it. But in High Society, you might just bid that little too much to get that one card that will definitely win you the game, and then you bust. God, that's brilliant. When Knizia's at his best, he makes us act in ways we may never in normal situations because the game is just so perfectly engineered. High Society is the archetype of this kind of design, and all of this in just 20 minutes. Bloody Reiner Knizia, eh? Games should bring people together, and Trade on the Tigris does just that. The skill that is baked into the design of this one is breathtaking. That it manages to fold in the decibel-increasing rambunctiousness of a party game with deep strategy and heavy decisions is remarkable, and a real endorsement of the thought that went into this one. There's so much here. The effort it takes you to climb the tracks, the benefits that effort yields, encourages more effort. The agony you can inflict on those bastards around the table is super gratifying, and those deceit cards are wonderfully mischievous. Trade on the Tigris is always an event, and those of a delicate disposition might have to be wary of a game that encourages volume and meanness. But every play is hilarious, every play is wildly fun, every play is a reminder of what games can be when they are done right. It's just a crying shame that it's out of print and you can't get it anymore. Chaos surrounds us and occasionally pokes its scaly snout into our business and fucks with our lives. Chaos can also be the engine of delight, though, and Glory to Rome takes a massive truck, crams it full of chaos and dumps it all over your gaming table. This is Carl Cheddock's masterpiece, a game so cleverly wrought that it can leave you scratching your head at what a single human mind can produce. There is true commitment to the chaos here. There are cards that will end the game in a minute. There are draws that leave you completely flummoxed, and there is no balance whatsoever. This is what makes Glory to Rome so brilliant. You get given the chaos, and you have to learn how to juggle it. There are few people who plough their own furrow in the world of the arts, true art brute. In gaming, the Splotter guys can claim this, and there's no doubt that Carl Cheddock claims this too. Glory to Rome is the apotheosis of his design ethos and the reason he should be considered as one of the greatest. If this game ever gets republished, I'll be first in the queue. So thank you for watching another video. We're nearly there. Then what am I going to do with my life? So, you can always sub to the channel. You could give this vid a thumb. You could tell your mates how average level entertaining I am. Also, if you want your name to whiz by at the end of a video, you can back the show on Patreon, or you could buy a brilliant t-shirt from sirmeeple.com. Right, enough of me warbling. I'm going to watch Asteroid City so I can be truly convinced of how much I hate Wes Anderson.